How do I know which word in the sentence I should stress? The answer is found in the rules of primary phrase stress. Let's learn them. First, we need to know what a thought unit is. A thought unit is a grammatical chunk, or a group of words that stays together. The thought unit could be a whole sentence, or it could just be part of a longer sentence. The primary phrase stress is the most important word in a thought unit. It's the word you want to stress. Primary phrase stress usually falls on the last content word in the new information. Content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. PPS falls on one of the last words in a thought unit, so don't die down in energy before you get to the end of a sentence. To the contrary, you usually need the most energy at the end of the sentence. The match was between the two of them. The word to is a noun, and it's the last new content word in this sentence. I don't need to stress of or them. Those are not content words. The match was between the two of them. I have the highest pitch on the word to and also the most volume. Between the two of them. You'll rise in pitch on to, but then fall in pitch on of them. The two of them. The match was between the two of them. You need to make it very smooth, so you wouldn't want to say the match was between the two of them. It needs to be smooth, between the two of them. Repeat after me. The match was between the two of them. Let's look at this example. This shows how PPS goes on the last new word in the thought unit, not just the last content word. It has to be a new one. Can I get a picture of you? Why? For a school project. What's the subject of the project? Biology. We talk about snakes. Notice I've drawn all the arrows. That's to show the intonation. Intonation is connected to primary phrase stress. In the first sentence, can I get a picture of you? That's a yes-no question. And at the end of a yes-no question, you want the pitch or intonation to go up. But before you can go up, you need to go down on the primary phrase stress, which is picture. So I go down on picture so I can go up on of you. Can I get a picture of you? Can I get a picture of you? The question why has its own thought unit. It's just one word all by itself. We're going to go up on why and down on why, all in one syllable. It's a WH question that has to have falling intonation. We go up before we go down. Why? Why? For a school project. In this thought unit, we're going to stress project. Some of you might think, oh, but isn't it a compound noun? Isn't it school project? No, this we just have to memorize. We actually just stress project for a school project. So you'll go up on pra and down on ject for a school project. This next sentence has the new information. What's the subject of the project? So we've already said the word project. We said that in the last sentence. So we don't need to stress project again. Instead, we stress subject. That's the last new content word in this new question. What's the subject of the project? Biology. We talk about snakes. So those are two separate chunks. Biology has its own chunk, and I rise on the O in biology, and then I fall on the end of that word. Biology. We talk about snakes. Again, snakes is your last content word. It's a new word. We haven't talked about it yet. It actually is the punchline in this conversation. It's the joke. She's insinuating that the person she's talking to looks like a snake. or is like a snake. I go up on snake and down on snake. Snake, snakes. We talk about snakes. We talk about snakes. You're the snake. Now here's an example where we're not going to stress the last content word. The last content word is not new. We've already said the word snake. And we also want to emphasize the contrast here. So sometimes if you have explicit contrasts, even if the contrast is on a function word, you're going to stress it. So here I stress you're. You're the snake. Why is this an explicit contrast? Well, the first person said, we talk about snakes. And she was implying that the girl she's talking to is a snake. So then that girl replies, you're the snake. So the contrast is between you and me. Sometimes when you have a really strong or interesting adjective or adverb, you can stress that as your primary phrase stress, even if it's not the last new content word in the thought unit. Let's look at this example. You seriously can't take a joke. I thought serious was rather strong and interesting, so I decided to stress that instead of the word joke. I could have stressed joke. You seriously can't take a joke. You have an option. Be creative. You just wait. This is threatening and it follows the general rule. Stress the last new content word, which is wait. You just wait. I'll think of something good tomorrow. We don't stress words like tomorrow or anymore or yet. These are just adverbials that express time in the context of the sentence. Don't stress them. Stress the last new word before those time adverbials. I'll think of something good tomorrow. Now repeat after me. Can I get a picture of you? Why? For a school project. What's the subject of the project? Biology. We talk about snakes. You're the snake. You seriously can't take a joke. You just wait. I'll think of something good tomorrow. Just remember, PPS is the most important word in a thought unit. Choosing that most important word wisely will help your audience concentrate and follow along with what you're trying to say. It'll help you deliver the message, and it helps your audience pick out the most important words so they don't get distracted. Remember, PPS generally falls on the last new content word. Now, this is a general rule, and there are many exceptions. I've shared a couple of exceptions with you today, but be on the lookout for my next lesson where I'll share more exceptions to PPS and more examples.